The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, this is Chris for Travelweek Learning Center. Today we have Karl Müller here and he's going to be helping us learn about the Xiamen Airlines. Karl?
Thank you very much, Chris. And on behalf of APG Canada, the of Xiamen Air in Canada, I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to tune into the webinar. The objective of this webinar will basically be to present the airline, a little bit of its geography, some of the destination information. Some of this you might already know, but as Xiamen Air is a recent addition, about 18 months in BSP Canada, not everyone knows, not familiar fully with Xiamen Air. So take this opportunity to share some of this information, which could be very useful for your account, client, or product purposes. So, Xiamen Air. Obviously, the name is based after the jurisdiction, the geographical region, Xiamen Province in China. The airline code is MF, Mike Foxtrot. And let's just go down and we'll start our webinar. So as I'm Karl Müller, APG, Air Promotion Group Canada Director, and we'll also be joined in the background by Mr. Samson David, the always pleasant and ever efficient Samson, who will be taking any questions you have in real time. You can type in, feel free to type them into the comment box, and he'll be looking into giving you the answers that you require. So, like said a few minutes ago, as previously mentioned, the objective of this webinar is to present the airline as a recent addition in BSP Canada, get you familiarized with the airline, some of its products, its services, etc., and how this might fit in with any of your end business activities. Currently, in 2015 and 2014, Xiamen Air in Canada has been ticketed. Sales have been growing over the last year and a half since BSP joined. Since Xiamen joined BSP Canada, and it's been quite diversified. We've had corporate TMC sales for a lot of business interests that go over to China and Asia. There have been tour operators, especially with the river cruises, and naturally there's going to be the VFR sales and retail. And just to mention one other thing here is that Xiamen is part of the SkyTeam Alliance. So we'll be getting to know a bit more about the interactions of Xiamen with the various airline destination segments. So on to the next page. Xiamen Air, a SkyTeam partner. A little bit of the crew, the uniforms, and the branding of the airline. So where exactly is Xiamen? Quite interestingly is that when we look at the, I guess the mainland Chinese population, expat population in Canada, close to 15% of them are actually from the Xiamen region. So I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but on the second map here at the bottom, my apologies, you can see Xiamen, that region there, which is just right across the strait from Taiwan. And within 400, 500-kilometer radius around Xiamen, you're looking at close to 25% of China's population right in that region. And Xiamen also contains a lot of China's major trade ports. As I previously mentioned, there's a lot of corporate and business traffic, and especially those who deal with marine fares for seamen. There's a lot to see and do in the region, so we'll just be touching on a little bit of that. No doubt a lot of you already are familiar with China to a certain degree, but we'll just be sharing maybe some tidbits here that could be useful to amplifying or expanding your knowledge of the region. Now, the Xiamen region is highly regarded in China for its livability, its standards of living, infrastructure, and progressive general socioeconomic model. And it is ranked as China's greenest province. That's an interesting fact to know. There's a lot of ecotourism in the region also. Quick facts. Population of China, well, 1.3 billion at last count. Naturally, the largest city is, obviously the capital city is Beijing, and the largest city is Shanghai, which is the economic, industrial, financial hub of China, not too far from Xiamen. Standard Chinese, obviously based on Mandarin, but obviously in the major tourism points of interest, such as hotels, larger restaurants, and sightseeing points, English is obviously commonly used also. Depending on the region you are in China, what time of year you're going, weather will vary. The Xiamen region is actually subtropical, so even during winter time it doesn't get too cold down there. It's comparable to Hong Kong's weather, just slightly a bit more moderate. As a matter of fact, regarding visas, we all know that Canadians do require a visa which has to be obtained before travel. So most Canadian cities do have a Chinese consulate, and there is information online as to the application forms and the other procedures. Why visit China? For the last 8 years, the average growth Canadian tourism travel, or Canadian travel to, origin travel to China, has expanded at an average of 2 to 4% per year. So it's been constantly growing. Not only leisure travel and specialized niche travel, but also business travel and other related segments of the travel industry. A few facts regarding China. This is based on the most recent information that has been provided to us. It can be a very affordable destination compared to some other popular or well-known destinations. The Canadian dollar has maintained a good degree of its buying power, and the exchange rate obviously is beneficial in that at this time. Hotels, transportation, food continue to be affordable in China at this moment. Due to the diversity and the amount of sheer amount of different attractions, cities, sites, cultural points spread out through the country. Obviously, there's a non-stop list of things that can be done, ranging from adventure travel to sports travel to cruise to gastronomy related travel, health and wellness. The list is endless. If you like Asian food, well, Chinese actually food varies quite a bit. What you get in one region might be totally different. Yeah, you know, just an hour flight away in a different region. So there have been a few travel interests here in Canada that have been promoting culinary tours with quite some success. History and culture, well, going back beyond 4,000 years. Obviously is something just fascinating. And Chinese culture or Asian culture is something that here in North America, not a lot of us are too aware of. But when we find out its influence and impact it's had on social advancement that was actually taken to other regions of the world, we'd just be fascinated. So the capital city, well, we've all heard of Beijing. It used to be known as Peking. And the current population of about 12 million people, inhabitants, hosted the Olympic Games in 2008. There are over 200 tourist attractions and 7,300 historical sites, shall I say. Now, we have a number of the structures that have been left over from the Olympics, ongoing construction interests, and varied touristical items of interest. Some of these you already are more than aware of, such as the Imperial Palace at the Forbidden City. They have the Palace Museum. There's the Great Wall at Badaling and the Ming Tombs. Entertainment ranging from obviously nightlife to cultural, local traditional, historical based folklore, etc. So there's a lot to consider. And Beijing is one of the hubs of Xiamen Air. Now Shanghai, as we mentioned, is the largest city in China. It's situated by the Yangtze River, and it is the economical, historical, it is an economic, industrial hub of China. We've all seen pictures of it. You see one right in front of you, right? Ultra-modern constructions. We can call them mini CN towers, although they are very tall. Different sort of buildings that all have vantage points to see the city, and all tell a story of the region and the development of the municipality. And with the backdrop of the Yangtze River, with all the different shipping traffic going down, provides quite the interesting viewpoint, visual viewpoint. Nighttime is quite fascinating with all the lights and the nightlife, etc. People and culture. Well, going back 4,000 years, there's been a confluence of different cultures. It's one giant melting pot. What you get in eastern China is not what you're going to get in southern China. A lot of these regions might be tied together via language, but other than that, gastronomy, certain traditions, history, and culture can be totally polar, opposite from what you get in the northeast compared to the southwest. In some countries, you know, when you visit, well, basically culturally, it's almost all the same, but that's not the case with China. And China does receive its visitors quite well. Hospitality and variety and accessibility are a few of the points that many of the travelers there have commented on. Cuisine, well, for those that are here based around the Toronto area, you probably, if you've ever been down to Dundas and Spadina, you've seen non-stop offer of different types of restaurants and different types of style, but quite interesting. Once, as mentioned earlier, Chinese food, it is completely varied. What you get in one region obviously can be completely alien in another regions. One example here, Sichuan cuisine from southern part of China, just beyond to Hong Kong, that region. Very, very spicy food. Others are more noodle-based, others are more meat-based, and some are more seafood, fish-based. It's quite interesting. I guess we all have to eat, don't we? Okay. Once again, famous, when you think of panda bears, you think of China. Certain historical moments, such as the Hong Kong former colony of the UK, which retains a lot of British traditions, and major events that have taken place. The Terracotta Army that was discovered, unearthed, shall we say, of over 8,000 individual statues representing individual soldiers that had one time served, obviously in royal service. So there's a lot of different stories revolving around that, but it is quite fascinating from an archaeological point of view and also from a historical and cultural point of view. So we basically have, obviously, an ancient tradition, but we also have modern progression in China. So there are a number of different events taking place during the year, different festivals, and that can even will vary by region. So if you're dealing with tour operations or even from the retail side or putting together FITs, obviously all year round there's always something to do, and the weather is, the more southern you go in China, obviously the more warmer it does become year round. So how to get there? Well, at this moment in time, Xiamen Air is not flying to Canada. It's an offline carrier. However, in our work in the market, what we have noticed here is that how are a lot of people getting to the Xiamen flights? Well, there are a number of international gateways outside of China. From Toronto, Vancouver to Seoul, Korea, where from Seoul, Xiamen has about 4 to 6 daily flights to various parts in China. From Beijing, if you're taking a flight with another carrier from Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver to Beijing, there are also flights you can connect up with Xiamen at that point to numerous points across China. Anyone heading into Hong Kong obviously can ticket any onward flights out of Hong Kong on Xiamen. Those heading to Japan, well, Xiamen has a gateway out of Tokyo and also Narita and see here. There are some code shares that I forgot to mention earlier. With Korean Airlines, they do have some code shares from Seoul. Xiamen also has code shares on specific KLM and Air France flights. Recently, Amsterdam to China operation daily was initiated and very well received. So from various points across Canada, obviously any sort of onward, if your client has to break their journey in Europe and wants to continue on to China or wants a side trip, well, that's another option to do, to have access to Xiamen. So let's just get to know the airline a little better. We're looking there at the 787. Xiamen has received 6 of them. And we have some news regarding Xiamen and the Canadian market, which we'll get to during the course of the webinar. At this specific moment, Xiamen has a network of over 220 domestic and over 50 international routes, connecting 60 major cities in China and across Asia. So it is quite the large network. We also have Amsterdam and Australia. In the last 3 months, Xiamen has tripled their flight offer out of Australia in China. Currently, 127 aircraft, and that includes 6 Boeing 787 Dreamliners. Xiamen is the only Chinese carrier. It's actually the first Chinese privately owned carrier, and the only one that has an all-Boeing fleet. The average age of the Xiamen fleet is about 9 years. 9 years when you average out the age of factor in all the aircraft. The fleet age comes to about 9 years, which is a rather young fleet. A very safe operation, certified for a number of international standards, IOSA, we've got European Aviation Authorities, FAA, and have flown 3.5 million hours and carried over 210 million passengers safely. So it has an excellent relationship as a background with safe operations. The objective of Xiamen Air is not just to fly, but also to become a reference by continuing to offer not only technically the best service possible with the strictest standards of safety, but also wants to, with its onboard service and quality on board, be known as the highest standard carrier in Asia. Xiamen bases its core values on the following factors: integrity, persistence, harmony, and progress. For the last 4 years, Xiamen has received a SkyTrax 3-star carrier award, and that was just based on their regional operations. Now that they've really expanded out internationally, they've received other related awards from across Asia. And one other mission, obviously passenger satisfaction, personnel development, so that obviously your experience on board, the way your experience dealing with the staff will always leave a good memory. and social accountability, that everything that the airline does will have an impact, so they want to be positive in their contribution. A little bit of history and awards. Well, it was founded Xiamen was founded in 1984, first privately owned airline in China. And slowly but surely, they started expanding their operations. By 1992, they had 29 routes carrying over 1 million passengers a year. By 1994, they acquired another airline called Fujian Airline, which is actually the Fujian province where Xiamen is located. I want to correct myself here. I call it Xiamen province. No, Xiamen is the city, the capital, in the Fujian province. And from 1998 onward, an entire list of technical recognition, certifications, audits, which resulted in awards for technical excellence. 2000 received China's highest award for flight safety operations. 2009, IATA Crystal Award once again for exceeding all the audit expectations with regards to mechanical operations, caring for the aircraft, and flight operations, how they operate the aircraft. As the 19th member in 2012, Xiamen joined SkyTeam and expanded SkyTeam's reach into the China-Asia region. And once again, in 2014, highest award recognition for punctuality among all Chinese carriers, and also took receipt of their first Boeing 787. Now the network. Well, from international, okay, getting down here, major hubs. The first or principal hub is Xiamen, code X-ray Mike November. Down here, just across from Taiwan, you'll see three little of the bluebirds, also called the egret. Xiamen is the last one here at the bottom. That's where Xiamen is, once again, the main hub is located. Also, concentrated operations in Fuzhou, Guangzhou, Beijing, Nanchang, Tianjin, and Beijing. Other international points to have access to Xiamen Air flights: Amsterdam, Bangkok, Sydney. One second here. Oh, yes. CKG is Indonesia. That's right. And in Indonesia, Jakarta, Manila, Japan, Kansai in Japan, Seoul, Singapore, Taipei, Narita, and we're proud to announce Xiamen has applied to start operating out of Vancouver as of the beginning of July 2016. So we're looking forward to that. We're just taking care of some final steps. But from Vancouver to Xiamen, and then from there connecting all over Asia and within China. That's just a quick look at the network. Aircraft. Once again, 127 aircraft. Majority of them are Boeing 730. Well, they're all Boeings. Here's a look at a little bit of the seat map. All of the aircraft are split into a business class and economy class. And the average seat pitch on Xiamen is 31 inches in economy and up to 39 to 40 inches in business class. So we have the 737-800, which is the workhorse of the fleet. For the smaller routes, the 737-700. And for some of the longer regional routes, Trans-Asia, we have the 757-200. And here we have, obviously, the apple of their eye is the Dreamliners. And a few shots of how it looks like on board, the executive cabin. There's obviously an economy plus type of service on board, the various dim lighting shades, and the cuisine on board. A little bit of some of the passenger-related services. The baggage policy. On domestic, it is the weight concept. So if you're issuing just a separate ticket domestically within China, it's 20 kilograms in economy class, 30 in business. And for those flights that do operate the first class, it's going to be 40 kilos. There's special seating on board. There's elderly care, elderly seats for those that are need any sort of special attention or special seating. Xiamen provides these sort of services. And economy class, once again, the seating pitch, the average is 31 inches. When you get into the larger aircraft, I'm going to correct myself, it does go above 60 inches. The type of meals offered, there's typical Western, North America Western style catering food. There's special meals, Oriental meals, and so forth. In-flight aircraft on most aircraft, the 787 have the individual monitors. 737-700s and some of the 800s have the drop-down screens, which will give you the air map, and but some of them are being fitted right now with individual IFE monitors. For those traveling in higher tier fares, premium fares, there is a lounge called within China called the Egret Lounge. Egret, obviously based after a bird, that specific type of bird, common to the Fujian, Xiamen region. And outside of China, Xiamen also participates in the business class lounges of a number of other partners. Frequent flyer points. Well, the Xiamen operates its own program called the Egret Club, which also works in tandem, dovetails with the SkyTeam Alliance. And there are a number of other airlines with which you can not only accrue, but also exchange and use those points as awards. Xiamen also has special deals, partners with hotels, airlines, car rentals, not only for services, but also for accruing points. A little bit here, look at the baggage here, all stacked one on top of the other. We've got service on board, and last but not least, a little bit of catering at the bottom. Travel agent support. So what are some of the things you as the travel professional need to know? Well, all of Xiamen Air's fares are published and available through your GDS system. And issuing any published fares, you can take 3% commission currently. We're looking to increase that, but at this moment it is 3% commission on Xiamen published fares, which you issue and obviously report via BSP. Xiamen participates in all the major GDS systems in Canada, which means Sabre, Amadeus, and Apollo. Xiamen recently started accepting credit cards, Visa and MasterCard, to make things much easier, and also participates in an Fly Asia, Fly China Air Pass offered through SkyTeam. And all those rules will not only be in your GDS when you consult the fares, but also on the specific websites for Xiamen and the SkyTeam Alliance. For agents that either don't have GDS access or perhaps might be non-IATA, we also do have an agent support number at 1-877-958-0370 in the case you have any, you need to make a booking, or for some odd reason, let's just say you don't have the Xiamen E-Plate ticketing authority. Well, obviously you can send us an email at Xiamen Air at APG Canada and get you set up. Or if you need a reservation made for you, or if you've made one you can't take, well, obviously our travel support number can help you out on that. And also groups can be booked through the travel, our our travel support center, the number previously indicated here in point number 3. Fares and ticketing. Okay, so what types of issuances can you use MF service on? Well, we are published fares, which obviously you ticket and report via BSP, or if you're in the States, ARC. We have domestic fares, which are filed and available in your GDS, and also international fares on the routes that Xiamen operates. Xiamen also is an interline fare partner on other airlines. For instance, let's just say Air France or KLM or Korean Airlines. If those are the long haul flights and Xiamen is the local connector, you'll probably find Xiamen included on that as a local airline partner connected on a through fare. There's a SkyTeam Air Pass for China and Asia. And we're looking forward to introducing net fares for tour operators and marine fares for those that do ship, seamen traffic, so forth. So those are differentiated depending on the segment of travel that you actually develop and work with. And once again, average standard commission in Canada is 3% on published fares, which is obviously done at point of sale. So until now, our faithful and reliable assistant, Samson David, has been in the background. If you had any questions, no doubt you've had the chance to propose them. If you have any other questions, feel free to mention them right now, or type them in, and Samson will be more than happy to get back to you on that, or provide you an answer right away. We also operate as the North American representative of Xiamen Air, a Facebook page for North America, Instagram and Twitter with any sort of operational product company highlights. Once again, I'd like to thank you very much for your attention and time and for tuning in, and I hope that this webinar was able to help you in any sort of specific need or project that you might have regarding the Asia-China region. We thank you once again for your time. So back to you, Chris. If there's anyone that has any questions, if you feel free to invite them to express themselves.
All right, thank you so much, Karl, for everything, for the great presentation. Just a reminder to all the attendees that there will be 2 winners for the draw for the prepaid Visa gift cards, and they will be emailed later on today or tomorrow. All right, and I believe that's going to be the end of the webinar. Thank you again for everybody who did attend. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you again, Karl.
Yeah, thank you very much.